What is up, guys? Eric here from BBM Productions, here with my first video of a few in regards to the legend, the diamond, Dustin Poiriers, and his retirement, etc. Now, first I'm going to talk about UFC 318 as a whole. I missed a few fights because I passed out. I had a very busy day yesterday and Friday as well. In fact, I couldn't get to a little bit of work that I need to sort, which I'll sort today. Later today after the videos etc is recorded. So I decided to go to gym to get the boxing bag etc. However, bad luck, the family decided to put away my boxing gloves, my wraps. I said maybe I'll just do it with wraps because a lot of the stuff I want to show you guys is stuff that is in MMA gloves, not in boxing gloves. So I was like, put on wraps. It's almost the same size as certain width gloves, which is about like this wide, but anyway. So that I'll rather show you with bare fists. So I'm outside here, as you guys can see, and I wanted to share the video, etc. Now, okay, cool. So, thoughts on the whole event. Because I started watching around about the Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen fight. Yeah, but then I passed out, I remember. I was very tired. I wonder how many steps I actually did. I probably did like 10k to 15k steps before going to bed to watch the fights. Because every time we have to watch fights, it's in the early morning hours. So it's already rough. Okay, cool. The whole card was actually weirdly fun. A lot of people were crying, and I even mentioned it in my video that the card was a bit meh, to be honest, if you just look at it on paper. But it's always these kind of cards, or even fight nights, that have crazy good fights. And that was what happened essentially here. Like with the Kevin Holland fight versus Rodriguez, that was really fun, the last round, because it was so back and forth. And I was like, wow, a lot of people just outright said, nah, Kevin Holland's going to win. I felt a little bit weird about it because of the wrestling aspect, but the wrestling didn't, it was a mixed bag. It was really a proper MMA fight, and it was fun. That one I loosely paid attention to because I was busy getting ready and waking up still, because that was like my second time getting a coffee and passing out in between. Fun fight. Then Roman Kopylov versus Paulo Costa. I am very happy for Paulo Costa. It was a really good fight. He log jammed the jab and essentially only had a rear kick to the body, because he's orthodox, to worry about. Only thing is, he did drop his hands a little bit, so it could have been swapped up to land head kicks a bit more if I was Kopylov, but it seemed like Kopylov was not fast enough, and because he didn't establish his range in time with the distance management, he felt non-confident. He had no confidence to throw the rear kick, and that meant kind of Costa had a lot more shots to go off of. However, you could see Costa had a lot of respect, and like what I mean is, since the easy loss for him in 2021, sorry, he garnered a much higher respect for people's punches, because before this, we know he was a marauder, like Joe Rogan would say, and he walks people down, just peppers them with shots, etc. However, in this fight, you could see he respects anybody's power. Now, that's a double-sided sword, like a double-edged sword, because if you over-respect somebody with not that much power in the hands, then you're giving them 3 points when they're hitting, or you're giving them distance, space, and chance to set up other stuff, which it was there, but it seemed, because of the distance and how much it threw off Roman, that he just didn't want to commit, which is good, because then Paulo could commit in between. Really good win for me, in my opinion, for him. And this is essentially what he had to do before this fight. With Sean Strickland, he should have pushed a little bit and then held back in between. Plus, in this one, it seemed like his cardio was a bit better, a tiny bit, and he managed it perfectly. So if he was a bit more aggressive with Sean Strickland, while being defensively smart and not really giving him so much respect on the punches, then possibly he could have won, because that was a lot closer than even this fight, in my opinion. Same with many losses that he had. Many losses that he could have pushed a little bit. So I hope he calls out somebody just slightly above him. I know he wants to go for Hamzat Chimaev, but that's a tall order. And even based on what I saw, I really think Polo's age is showing a bit. Other than that, he did well. Then Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. The best fight, in my opinion, on this card. Everybody else would say Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori or the Kevin Holland fight. To me, no. Listen, there's more weight to this main event. It's why I said I'm not really predicting it, but I'm leaning towards Dustin for fun. And it was a really good call in a way, because a lot of the stuff I mentioned actually happened. Only thing that did shock me is that Max dropped Dustin in the first round. And the way he did it, because the first exchange where Max landed a shot, it didn't look like he had a lot of pop. Even at 155 versus a bigger 55er, in my opinion, than Gaethje, because Gaethje is a little bit small. If you guys know, he doesn't cut much weight. So he's walking at a lot lighter than he is. Then it seems. Dustin is heavy. He said 185, 190 pounds sometimes, and then down from there. That's heavy for lightweight. So when he landed that shot, I was like, let me watch the next few exchanges. And then, boom, he drops Dustin. I'm like, okay, cool. This fight might end really quick. And it seemed like many people messaged me. They were like, listen, he backed off after he dropped him. Now I'm like, possibly is that, or he was just being, like Max Holloway was being defensively smart. Because if you stay in the pocket, like he did later, you're going to get caught. And that's what I want to get into. So he didn't want to get caught in between. He was like, yeah. And also, it seemed like he was like, I'm going to prolong this a little bit. So I thought, okay, second round. First round was Max's 10-8, not 10-8, 10-9. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see if Dustin survives or if he stops him in the second. Cool, you could see. Max comes out quite hard, etc. And what ends up happening is Max is doing well because he kept his distance quite well with the kicks. The kicks were keeping Dustin out of range because Dustin's hips, everybody who knows his history, medical history, his hips, his knees, and then his flexibility in them as well, prohibits him from moving too quickly. And then on top of that, he's always been a little bit plodding. Now, to me, that's not a big problem because that generates power if you're flat and you can load up your knees. But there's the problem. He couldn't load up his knees and fire off of his feet fast enough, as well as his hip mobility. You can see it's solid. It was just straight. So what happened is he can't really cover distance too fast. It really showed in this fight. Anyhow, because of that, Max could have, he was skirting around on the edge of the octagon and getting away. Cool. Second round, Max is a bit more confident because he dropped Dustin. So now he's going to stay in the pocket a bit more. Whoop, whoop, bam, he gets caught right behind the ear, right there, and he drops bad. I was like, whoa, this is bad. And if you guys go rewatch the fight, you can see Max's complexion changes and his composure completely changes the rest of the fight. It wasn't like round one and early round two. He just tries and scrambles to get away, keeps his distance, and tries his chin. He allows his chin to recoup and regain his composure, etc. as well. And it just didn't happen because the third round starts. Max avoids. He dances around, he stays away. The reason why is because he knew any moment. Like, I think he was still dazed badly. So that's 1 minute, and then a minute and a half or 2 minutes in to the second round. He still was at the edge of the void, as Demetrius Johnson would say, and he stays away. Cool. That's when they start trading again. Max starts getting the upper hand. Boom, that round is for Max. So now it's 3 rounds in, and it's 2 Max, 1 Dustin. Next round, Dustin again clips him a few times, etc., and Dustin gets that round. It was very close. That's what I'm getting at. And also, the chin situation is why Max had to be less active in some ways. That's why I think it was 113 strikes that he landed to 99 for Dustin, and a lot more kicks, because the kicks was really part of the whole game plan. Like you can see, it was kick and move, kick, strike, move, or dart in, get an angle, move out. And Max really did well there. So, okay. The geese are saying hi, guys. Or they're saying morning. Alright, what the big issue was for Dustin is his speed. But okay, not his speed in his hands and shoulders, it's more so his lower body. And then his power was still there. His power never left. That's one thing. I'm going to make a different video on that. I think later today or in the video. Not later today, in this day. Sorry guys, I have 4 hours of sleep in, and this is for the second night. Yeah, this weekend was really busy. Went to a car sound off, hanged out with a chummy of mine, a friend, and then we did a lot of sound related work as well in one of the cars. And then also Friday night, I had a business meeting at one of the clubs, blah, blah, blah. So I have a low amount of sleep, you can see it. But anyway, guys, great fight. I didn't agree with the judges. I'll make a short video after this about that. That was stupid. Really good retirement video, etc. A lot of people were crying and messaging me like, dude, did you chop onions and stuff like that? You know, the jokes, but we're all a little bit sad. I feel happy for Dustin because you guys will see through this week. I'll talk a lot about a lot of things that happened in Dustin's career, which is insane. And I've been watching him since 2016. I knew about him before that, but I didn't watch religiously, well, again, at that time now, so until 2016. 2016 is when I said, okay, I'm going to watch every card. And I did so until 2024. Yes. And then I decided I need to focus on other stuff in my life. There's a lot going on in my life, a lot of technical stuff that needs work. I can't focus on my health, like lose sleep and stuff every weekend, because it was, sheesh, we had a lot of UFC events at one time. But I can't do that with a chronic illness and all that stuff. And also, a lot of, if you know what you're looking at in the sport, there's not a lot that can really shock you or that's new. So it gets very repetitive to watch. Anyhow, funny enough, I never missed any of Dustin's fights outside of the Gaethje rematch, the last rematch they had. Yeah, when he got head kick KO'd. It's the only one I missed. Oh no, I didn't miss it. I got home. I remember I was out in DJing and I got home and I saw the knockout just happen. And then I was like, whoa. And I felt really bad for him because that was the moment that we knew he's not getting the belt again. Like everybody says his Islam fight is when. No, it was the Gaethje knockout because that was the fight where people said, oh, he looked slow and old and stuff like that. It's not that he's slow and old per se. It is because of the hips, the damages in his lower body. If his legs and stuff were good again, then he could explode and get cover distance a bit better. And then also, Gaethje just caught him. But the way he got knocked out, I was like, oh, Gaethje's probably getting the shot, etc. Then the BSD fight happened, and we saw the Islam fight. Very good. One thing I want to mention real quick before I say goodbye is Max really impressed me with his grappling. Now, yes, he's not Islam Makhachev, but he did very well when he got Dustin down in round 1, and he essentially mounted him for a while, etc. That was really good, and his defense, it was really good. Fun fight. Looking forward to more of the fights coming soon, like the Hamza Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis fight. I need to do a little bit film study now for that. Anyway, guys, cheers. Have a good day.